Hey, friends, family, and loved ones. Chef Ron Webster here once again. We got another installment of Flavor to Savor, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I enjoy putting it together. Remember, I won't put out any content unless I believe in what it is, no matter how much time is put into it, as far as the content itself. All right. So, still working on editing and things like that. So, bear with me. But do me a favor, though. Make sure you like. Make sure you share, and don't forget to subscribe. You know what I mean? And if you feel desired to do so, share with a friend. But again, it's Chef Ron, Flavor to Savor. It's another installment, another episode. Hope that you enjoy it. Please feel free to give me some feedback. And again, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And don't forget to subscribe. All right? And remember, it's always good to be good. And may God bless you as always. All right. Here we go. Chef Ron, Humble Serving Catering, Barbecue and Southern Comfort Catering, available at 510-776-5100. Remember, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, so you need some catering done, be it Christian events, like church and stuff like that, corporate event where you work at, holidays, customer appreciations or whatnot, or if it's a celebration, birthday party, wedding, whatnot, we handle that. We can do that for you. Family reunions, we got you. You understand what I'm saying? 510-776-5100. But look, I appreciate y'all that took a look at the first video, or maybe or maybe you didn't get to see the first one yet. This is part 2 of episode 1, Club Shay, featuring Keith Lee, right here on Flavor to Savor from Chef Ron. I had to remember because I got several different names: Deacon Ron, DJ Ron, Reverend Ron, and Chef Ron. You get what I'm saying? But to everybody, I'm Ron, though. Everybody call me Ron. You know what I'm saying? So look, this interview is actually pretty good. You know what I mean? Especially if you're into the culinary arts or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? If you like to hear about how people have their humble beginnings or wherever they come from, be it humble or even if they, silver spoons or whatnot in their mouth. You know what I mean? But the thing about it, though, this is a great interview. It's a great time for me to get started with this particular type of content. I don't know if people react to Club Shay or whatnot, and I don't plan to just react to Club Shay, but because of Flavor to Savor, and we talk about Keith Lee, who's a highly regarded food influencer. Well, he doesn't call himself that. We just found that out in part 1 of the video. But the thing about it, it's a great place to start. So look, we're going to just jump right into part 2. They were just talking about where he came from and his MMA career. Now we're about to get back into some more food. So why don't you join with me? Take away my logo. And for those that didn't see it, there it is, the Humble Servant Barbecue and Southern Comfort Catering. Available, 510-776-5100. We'll cater for you. We want to serve you. All right? That's that. But let's get back into the video right here. Part 2, Flavor to Savor. Club Shay featuring Keith Lee.
I didn't even, go ahead. Talk that
Let me do it like this. Last year, my co-host, we were talking about, you was critiquing a restaurant. And Ocho said something, you responded. And we were asking, we were talking earlier about a celebrity boxing match. We asked, would you fight Jake Paul? And you said you would like a celebrity boxing match.
If I'm going to do anybody, let's go Chad. Come on, Ocho.
Ocho!
Come on, Ocho. Ocho was talking hot. He was talking crazy. Ocho was talking on a different level. But we've had a conversation since.
Oh, you talked to Ocho?
Mm-hmm. I talked to Ocho. Again, I come from a place of love, man. I come from a place of transparency. We had a conversation. Chad didn't mean no harm. But if you want to put the gloves on, we can put the gloves on. I ain't going to lie. I'll whoop Chad ass.
He said in the last video he really feel that way.
From a place of love, I'll take Ocho down.
Chad ain't no pipsqueak.
I'll take Ocho down through there. And I feel like we'd sell out a big one for that.
I'd probably go to that.
Ocho,
down through
we can make this happen.
Ocho.
Ocho, what? 190? 185?
Yeah, 185, 190.
How tall is he? 6'1"? 6?
Yeah, about 6'1", 6.5".
You got to be 2 something to do something around here.
What?
Got to be 2 something to do something.
I ain't gonna lie.
He talking his talk.
It's different because again, I was fighting at one of the highest levels that you can fight at. But non-professional, anything under 200 can't do nothing with me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ocho, now you say you want that smoke. You been calling out Andre Ward and all these. He said he got the hand for you. He said he updated you.
Talking about my full review.
Yeah.
10 different states.
He'll reveal you, Chad.
Afterwards. It's amazing. So,
You mentioned you were in Bellator. When they didn't renew you or they released you, what was going through your mind then?
Y'all show me some
my
more
life was over
content.
with.
This is
My
going to be
mind.
fun.
I came back in this very house and had when I say no idea, my wife was pregnant with our second child. I had a 2-year-old. The rent here was $1,000. I had no idea how I was about to pay that. I literally vividly remember
that's in
sitting
Las
in this
Vegas,
very
only
chair in this very
$1,000?
spot.
In a one-bedroom in California?
I went to it. This is when food reviews
get a
actually started
bed,
for me. Because before then, I was just cooking
room,
in this kitchen.
but not
and
a
I would cook
one-bedroom.
4 times a day for her.
You
when
can
she was
have one
pregnant,
bedroom
and I
for
would record
yourself
myself
in somebody
every time
else's
I was
house for
cooking.
$1,000.
And
California.
when after that fight, I was curled up in a ball in that bed. Goddamn, I'm about to cry. I was curled up in a ball, and I remember her coming over the top of me and being like, "Everything is gonna be okay." It was so hard for me to see because I'm staring at.
Now, see, that's tapping into one of my topics, right? I talked about music. I talk about the relationship aspect and talk about food, right? He's talking about the relationship aspect. It's not like having a solid one in your corner. If you're a woman to have a good man in your corner, it's nothing like it. You feel like you could do whatever the world requires of you. Same thing for a man to have a good woman in his corner. Even Tony Montana, Scarface said, "I'm on my way to the top. I feel with the right woman. I'm right woman in my corner. I'm gonna go there. You know what I mean? The world is yours. You know what I'm saying?" Let's hear what he got to say though. But that's what it's all about. That's real talk. You know what I mean? We got to get back to love and men and women coming together and turning it into something for real. You know what I mean? Turning it into something other than divorce and baby mama, baby daddy drama. You know what I mean? That's real talk.
2-year-old, I'm staring at her belly. I'm about to cry. I was curled up in a ball, and I remember her coming over the top of me and being like, "Everything is gonna be okay." It was so hard for me to see because I'm staring at my 2-year-old. I'm staring at her belly. I had no sense of what's about to happen. I thought that food reviews could do something, or I wouldn't even say, I'm lying to myself. I had no idea what food reviews were going to do.
You definitely didn't think it would take off like this.
Never in a million years. I just vividly remember having a conversation with her, and she telling me I was going to be okay, and she was rubbing my back. I stood up, and I was like, I'm about to make something happen. I'm about to go do something. I don't know what it is, but whatever is calling me, whatever that voice is telling me to do, I'm about to do it. And I've listened to it before, and I'm in a position where I'm losing contracts. And when I say lost a contract, Shannon, that contract was worth, I think I had like $100,000 up on the contract. That's money.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, bro, what? I was like, just, all right, I ain't got to fight. Just give me $100,000.
Right.
In my mind. But, like, God willingly, maybe 6 months after all of that happened, and like I said, I was sitting in the chair, I started doing food reviews. When he started reaching out to me, and they gave me a contract that was worth the exact same amount that contract was worth for Bellator.
Let me tell you one thing I learned about the Lord, and it's apropos to this. If you look up the word apropos, it means something. You know what I'm saying? I can't lie. I learned it from Stephen A. But that's here beside the point. What's germane to this conversation, why it ties into this conversation is because it's something that I learned, a lesson that I've learned. You know what I mean? And I ain't no shame in my game though. I give it to Bishop Chantil because I heard him say it. He was preaching one night, and so the host preacher of that church got up there and say, "Hey, we got Bishop Till to come all the way here from Chattanooga, Tennessee, where his church was. He's from Richmond, California, where I'm from, and we were in Richmond, California, but his church was in Chattanooga, Tennessee." And so he said he came here. He didn't even charge us to do this event tonight. You know what I mean? And it wasn't that he was correcting him or nothing like that, but Bishop Till said something that night, and I want him to know that it resonated with me. But he was saying that he learned one thing about God, that what God don't put in your right hand, he'll put it in your left hand. Meaning, just because you do something good over here, or you do something over here for the kingdom, or, for a good cause or whatever, just because you don't get rewarded from that, something else will come along and it'll reward you. You get what I'm saying? So it can't always be about money. You can't always be about what's in it for me. If that's what you're thinking going into it, it's probably something that you shouldn't be doing anyway, or only doing it because of the money. You know what I'm saying? And me, myself, like I said, I'm getting into this content thing because, first of all, I love the topics. Anybody that know me know, if I'm not feeling the situation 100%, like he said, I'm either all in or I'm not. Relationship, it don't matter. if I'm not feeling it, it's hard for me to get involved with it. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to DJing or whatever, if I'm not really feeling your playlist, I'm there. My body's there with you, but my mind is on something altogether different. Yeah, I might rock the party or whatnot, but I get out of there, I'm drained and ready to go. When I'm all in, my energy's going to be on a whole nother level. The party going to be on a whole nother level. I'm going to go home and need about 3 or 4 hours before I can go to sleep. And it's been made to Saturday nights where I done went home and stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning, took a quick little nap, bounced up at 7 o'clock and went to church. You understand what I'm saying? Because I love the Lord like that, because of what he's talking about. Hopefully that made sense to you. If not, you got to try him for yourself. Scriptures say, oh, taste and see that God is good. And that is the truth. He's better than good. Good.
You had a job, you did a delivery for Postmates, DoorDash. Were you a good delivery
Make
guy?
sure we didn't
You
miss
get
that,
good-
y'all.
Exact same amount that contract was worth for
you gotta
all
hear
of that
what he said.
happened. And like I was sitting in the shop, started doing food reviews. Wingstop reached out to me and they gave me a contract that was worth the exact same amount that contract was worth for Bellator.
Wow.
He was going to fight, but then he lost a $100,000 thing. He started doing food reviews, and Wingstop reached out and paid him the same amount he was going to fight for. So now he got to keep his face clean, his wife love him and everything else, and he still get the $100,000. God is awesome.
You had a job, you did a delivery for Postmates, DoorDash. Were you a good delivery guy? You get good tips? You ain't biting off them people food, is it?
No.
I ain't doing that.
Man, you do. Them people is.
No. My little brother was. Right? That was my little brother. That's why I said he in prison.
Brothers,
but
bang.
no, for me, I feel like I was, but I had so much going on at the time. I was sharing a car with my wife, so my daily schedule was I would wake up, I would go drop her off in the morning. She had to be at work at 9 o'clock. She had to be at work at 9. I would drop her off. I would go do 3 or 4 deliveries that took maybe like an hour. I would go straight to the gym after that. I would train for maybe 2 hours, leave the gym. I'm talking about sweating, smelling like everything.
Smell like get back on.
All of that. Get in the car, go do more deliveries. That's why I say I can't really say I'm a good delivery driver, because if a delivery driver pull up and he smell like how I used to smell,
Yeah,
he probably not getting a tip.
Yeah, I don't even want the food now.
But I was grinding, bro. I literally would leave there, do 4 or 5 deliveries, go to the next gym session. After that, do 2 or 3, go pick her up from work, take her with me to do a few more to get money for dinner. And then after dinner, I would like try and recover the best I could and do it again tomorrow. So was I a good delivery driver? I was a delivery driver that did what he had to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you get good tips?
Maybe a little bit, but
So you mentioned that when things were transpiring, you were cooking for your wife. Are you a good cook?
I throw down on chance.
How did you learn from watching your mom? How did you learn how to cook, or was it out of necessity?
Let me just share this. Me personally, I cooked because my mother worked a lot. You know what I mean? First thing I ever really cooked, like took some season and tossed it in the oven with some lamb chops. If you don't know about lamb chops, then I don't know what to tell you. You need to go try some. You know what I mean? I done turned many a lady on to some lamb chops. They didn't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? But I got to really cook because I found out if I would ask for a chicken wing, be like, nah, go, wait till dinner's ready, you know what I'm saying? But if I was in there helping cook the chicken wings, I could nibble on 1, 2, 3 in one night, and after that I was hooked. It wasn't until a month before I graduated. I've been in culinary school and going for my degree, and it wasn't until almost 6 years in going to the degree. Don't ask why it took so long. It was a great journey, though. I didn't start off with a degree. I can say that, going for a degree, but I just turned into something that reached a little more. But it wasn't until a month before I graduated and realized that my grandfather was a chef. Duh. He was a caterer. Duh. Found out since then on that trip I told y'all about in part 1 of this video. Make sure you go look at part 1 if you haven't seen it yet. This is part 2. That when I visited that restaurant, Bill's in Katy, Texas, I had just come from my cousin's house in what's called Kendleton, Texas, and found out that my grandfather's grandfather, or my grandfather's father, had some chef in him too. So it's in my blood. You get what I'm saying? My grandfather had 5 daughters. All of them were excellent cooks. Well, I can't speak for the first 2 per se. One of them I never knew. She was only 3 years. I was only 3 years old when she passed away, so I never really met her or whatnot. I don't remember her at all. The second one, I was 7 years old when she passed away. I was her favorite nephew. Shout out to everybody, to my other cousin stuff, but it's known I was her favorite nephew, which until her children are some of my favorite cousins because I was always around them even as a little kid. I'm guessing she cooked real good because she had 5 children. They still, they still live. When one of them passed away a couple of years ago, we found out the night for my mom's funeral. But my point is, men get down in the kitchen too. I think the chef world is basically dominated by men, but that's neither here nor there. We can get down though, and I feel them.
I've always been a study of the game. Okay. So I've always been a professional in the sense of no matter what I do, I take it extremely serious.
Okay.
So when I was cutting weight, you can ask my coach this. When I was cutting weight, I would be watching the Food Network, and that's me not eating solid meals for 2 or 3 days, and me watching people cook, and me watching people make like desserts and full blown like food porn down there, and he'd be like, how are you watching this? Like, you're not even eating food. My stomach caved in. I'm sitting on the floor and like wrapped up like a mummy because I'm trying to sweat.
Right.
And I'm full blown. In my mind, I'm not realizing I'm studying. But now, in retrospect, I'm studying for what God had in store for me. But yeah, I was full blown like watching Food Network all day, every day. A lot of people that I used to watch on YouTube was like People versus Food.
Good Eats.
I used to watch Cocoa Butter, which is like a YouTube channel of like us trying different cuisines that we never tried before. Guy Fieri, of course, Gordon Ramsay,
never saw him.
Bobby Flay. Like, I was a huge studier when it comes to that.
Bobby Flay.
That's pretty much how I taught myself how to cook, is just watching other people and watching other videos and tutorials and just coming here and experiencing and like experimenting with stuff.
So that's what you do. You watch them do it, like, okay,
I can do that.
Yeah.
Again, I've always been cocky in a sense as a kid, so I was like, why can't I make a beef Wellington? It's a video right now of me in that kitchen making a beef Wellington, and it was horrible. But I tried. I was so cocky. That's one of the hardest dishes to make in literally in a culinary field.
Roll it up or something like that.
I was like 22. I was like, why not? I had like a little burnt pan. I had some puff pastry. I'm cutting mushrooms. Like I'm really doing something full blown. The pastry dough was this thick. It was raw in the middle. The steak was overcooked. I cut the puff pastry out and ate.
You gotta have puff pastry, layer.
When you were growing up, did you critique your mom, your grandmother's cooking, and you're like, Mom, this was good. Mom, I don't know about this one, Mom.
I've been his way. They used to get so mad at me. Even Thanksgiving, I used to full blown be like, in my opinion, this is like a full blown.
You come to our family house, you're gonna love everything. That's how we do it. That's our holiday.
Yes and no. Right. So like my dad was always the one who cooked. My dad was a very meat eater.
Oh, okay.
So he used to cook steaks. I'm talking about full blown. Like we used to walk in the house. My wife used to hate it at first because she come from a house where they make full meals. My dad just made meat. So you had
no veggies,
no nothing. You might have a little piece of asparagus like this big, but it's really just steak. And I'm talking about on a cutting board, just laid out.
Right.
So like that's the kind of house that I grew up in.
Right. So what made you change from cooking videos to doing reviews? When did that switch go off to say, you know what, the cooking videos okay, but let me review food that's already been cooked?
Before we continue, I just want to say you are amazing at what you do. It's different seeing it in
nice
person
segue.
and seeing how you handle the conversation and take it to different spots that I already was thinking in my mind.
This is
about to be crazy. But what was the question, my man?
How did you determine to stop doing? You was doing cooking videos on YouTube, and then you said, you know what? A switch goes off. You're like, okay, let me do reviews and start placing those on TikTok.
It was right after that last fight. Like I said, I was having conversations and I didn't know what I was about to do, and I just started listening to that inner voice, and I literally was just doing whatever felt right at the time. We in this kitchen, we standing in there, and at this point I was making cooking videos, but I also was like dabbling with food reviews. And People versus Food, who I just said I used to watch a lot, I made a video saying I used to watch them, and they reached out and was like, we would love to have you on the show. And back then, that's the equivalent of Shannon Sharp calling me, like, we want to sit down and do an interview at the house that you grew up in. So I'm freaking out, and I'm like panicking, and I'm like, what am I about to do? But again, I'm at the point of trusting God and trusting the plan that He put in for me. So I'm like, at this point, I'm in my mind, I'm like, what they want to talk to me for, like what they want to bring me on there for. But I'm just trusting God and I'm letting it happen the way it's supposed to. And I'm standing in the kitchen. My wife comes over and she says, okay, if you about to go on People versus Food, what are you going to post on your page that's going to make people come and actually follow you and not just come and look at your page and keep scrolling? And I was like, I already do food reviews every now and again. What if I just post one food review a day until I get on the show? This was in November 2022. And my sister, she's always been a battery pack in my back. She's living with us at the time, and she living on the couch right here.
Yeah.
And she like, yeah, why don't you? And I'm like, okay, let me just try it, right? Mm-hmm. I started posting once a day in November. By December, so I started at 1.4 million followers. By December, I had like 7 million followers. Wow. I had like 7 million. That's when the Wingstop deal came in. That's where the money started rolling in a little bit. And it just was like, what's happening?
Right.
Like, I vividly remember being in here and like, what is going on? I got a call from Kevin Hart while I'm sitting right here in the same spot. And he like, yeah, I want you to come try my restaurant. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
Kevin, I literally have the video on my phone of me looking at him like,
restaurants.
what are you talking about? Why would I come try food for you? And he like, bro, you the biggest thing, you this, that, and the third. I don't see myself how other people see me. And I think that stems from my anxiety. So I see myself as a normal person, and genuinely to my core, I'm just Keith. So when things like that happen, it's like, you lying. Like, stop lying.
Right. Do you shoot and edit all your own videos?
Everything. So I shoot on my phone. I literally take my phone and I sit on the steering wheel and I record. I sit with my family. We eat food. The second the camera go off, I go to the back of the Sprinter. I edit the videos. I post it, and then we go about our day.
But
simple enough for me.
Yeah. So you
That's
never
a
really
plate
have
to eat.
any interaction with the people that actually own the restaurant. You go in there, buy food just like a normal person. You're in your Sprinter. You eat. You like. I mean, obviously you're not eating that much. That's the thing, because
I would be huge if I ate everything. Yeah. But so I'll give you the full rundown of how it works. So when we go to a restaurant, is specifically either based off a recommendation or is based off the restaurant itself reaching out. So that way, nobody can say I was picking on them and I just randomly went to a restaurant and gave my unsolicited opinion. The opinion is always asked for. So once we go to the restaurant, I'll have my sister or I have somebody that nobody's ever seen me with in my family go and order the food.
They might be knowing your sister now. You might have to go in disguise.
It depends on where we at. So if it's a spot where... because the threshold is 100 to 150 recommendations, and like I said, somebody reaching out. So if it's a place where it's like barely over the threshold, it's like 100 recommendations, then I'll send my sister in, because a lot of the times those people have no idea, right? Okay. But if it's a place where we got 2,500 recommendations, or we got 3,000 recommendations, or the restaurant owner and his mama and his grandmama and his cousin that reached out, then that's when I send the family member that nobody's ever seen me with. Okay. So it's levels of like ninja that we call it. It's like levels of like incognito. So if it's at the highest level, it's somebody that you literally never seen me with, somebody that don't even look like they're related to us, that you would never. And we even get we get real creative. Like they go to DD's and grab like random shopping bags just so they can look like they've been shopping in the neighborhood. They throwing full disguises. So it's a full blown mission basically. So they go in and get the food. They record the experience. When they come back in the car, they give us all of the information of how the customer service was, how fast it took, how many people was in there. They get videos of the inside and everything. I do the review, full blown, unbiased, just giving my personal opinion. The second that the video turns off, if it's an 8 or higher of like the overall rating for the car, because I ask everybody, like, how did y'all think about it, the experience, the food. If it's over 8, we go in and we have a conversation with the owner. And a lot of times, if I feel like it's over 8, we blessed enough to where we'll have people jump on a plane and literally try to place the same day. So again, with a great power comes great responsibility. So I feel like it's in our duty to go in and have a conversation with the owner and tell them like, hey, there's no promises, but it might get crazy in here. Right. And a lot of times that's why we leave really large tips so they can afford to go grab the food that they need for the next day. Because a lot of these places, they are either like behind a rent or they just like make ends meet. So it's like they can't afford for the surge. Like they can't afford to keep up with the demand.
What a blessing that is. What a blessing to be able to use who you are, take your following and tell them to go that way. Let me say that one more time. To be who you are, somebody who just like to eat, like good food, can appreciate some good food. You have a following of people who watch you eat, and you tell them that the food is good, and then you tell them to go that way, go to that place. if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, not from Keith Lee, but from Chime Time, and Chime Time is gonna have a video. Shay need to get Chime Time on here too. This guy right here, he loved the Lord. I believe Chime Time do. However, Chime Time is like one of them rappers that be like, I want to give God the glory, but then you go listen to their music, you be like, what the world? This is not the Lord into this. I'm not saying he that bad, but Chime Time gonna give him to a raw. If it is horrible, he gonna say, what the are y'all doing? If you want to hear what I'm talking about, just go check out what he did for Eminem's Mama's Spaghetti restaurant or whatever. Yeah, and you'll see what Chime Time is all about. Even that one he did for my boy on Bills, he did say the chicken needed to, the batter needed some CPR. I believe those were his words. The fish was seasoned to the gods, but the batter on the chicken needed some CPR. The chicken has gotten better since then. Shout out to my folks. The chicken has gotten better since then. It's seasoning it. Yeah, so this is beautiful right here to be able to do what Keith Lee does. I gotta find that article, and if I find it, I'm gonna have to tag it. I'm gonna post it in the links in a bio of these videos when I post them. It's somewhere on my Facebook. Matter of fact, next month in January, that's when I did it. It's gonna come up in my memories. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna post it in the links because I try to scroll through Facebook before I did this video, so I could really tell you why I was so enthralled about doing this one, why I was so interested in doing it. Couldn't find it, but I will find it within about a month's time, and I will post it in the bio, all right? But make sure you go look at part 1 to see what I'm talking about on Bill Soul Food of this video, episode 1, part 1, Flavor to Savor, Club Shay featuring Keith Lee. Let's go.
Because a lot of times they have to hire people that same day, or they got to call their cousins and be like, hey, we need 10 of y'all to come and help us for tomorrow.
For real.
So we pay for that. So we pay for the food, the help that you may need, and everything that comes involved in that. So that's when we talk to the owners.
Do you remember the first video you uploaded that went viral?
Yeah, of course you do.
Food review? Mr. Gary. It was a food truck that was around the corner from here. So I used to ride my bike just to stay in shape. And the trip is maybe like 10 minutes from here. But it's a straight shot up Flamingo. So I used to come out here. I used to ride my bike, and I used to ride.
Side note, for people who don't know, he's in Las Vegas. So he talking about Flamingo, same street Tupac got killed on. I just caught that. Just want to share that with y'all. Koval and Flamingo is where Tupac got shot at. He lives somewhere close to there. Let's go.
Real late, so maybe like 11 o'clock. So this is maybe 2 weeks into the rest of I was posting every day.
I saw this video.
2 weeks into that. And I was riding my bike back from the trip. This was maybe at like 12 o'clock at night. It was real late. And I'm driving past a random street that like literally nobody usually walks on, because I don't know if you know, we in the hood, Shannon.
No, for sure.
Okay. At 12 o'clock, it don't be nobody down the street normally. So I'm driving down the street, and it's a random like LED lit box, and I can't tell what it is. And I'm like, why is there, again, we in a hood. I'm like, why is there lights in the middle of the street? So I turn my bike around, I ride down, and lo and behold, it's a food truck. I walk up to it. I asked the man, like, hey, can I try some food? And he like, yeah, we sell, it was called Mr. Gary's, I think it was like lobster and something. Mr. Gary's seafood.
Oh, it's
so
seafood.
I'm allergic to shellfish. But he had lobster, shrimp, he had crab, he had everything, but he also had a burger. So I was like, can I try the burger? And he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, everything is cooked on the same grill. So I was like, okay, never mind. And I went to leave, and he was like, wait. I'm going to clean the grill off, come back tomorrow. I'll literally disinfect everything. I'll clean everything.
That was his first one.
I'll break everything down. Mind you, he has no idea who I am.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm like, why would he do all of this for a stranger or just a regular customer?
And do all that for a burger?
For a burger. The burger was...
Go down the street, they got burgers. They ain't got clean.
And I got lobster and everything else, though.
He like, bro, I'm about to leave for the night, but come back in the morning. I'm going to come here early just for you specifically, and I'm going to clean everything.
That's what's up.
So in my mind, I'm like, why is this place slow? Why is this not a loyal fan base that's coming here and supporting this man that's really like putting his whole into the business? So I go back the next morning. Again, he still has no idea who I am. Go back the next morning. I try the burger. The burger is amazing. I make a video to that effect and say, hey, in my opinion, this burger is great. I tell the whole story. The video gets like 20 million. And I would say like in the first 12 hours or like 15 or 20 million. He calls me and he panicking. He in a full-blown like sweat. He run around the house. I'm like, what's going on? He like, people got my phone number. Why do people have my phone number? Lo and behold, I recorded the outside of the truck and it had his phone number across the top, and that was connected to his Cash App. People sent him $40,000 in less than 12 hours.
My goodness.
And he had no idea what to do. he was calling me. He's
Glory
like,
to
do I
God.
pay these people their money back? He's like, do I go send these people food? Like, what do I do with this money? And I'm sitting there, again, all of this is taken off for the first time.
Oh.
And I'm like, I don't know either, Mr. Gary. I'm like, all this is just new to me. But it was like that reassurance, or
Oh, I love this.
of like knowing I had a community behind me that was willing and more than willing to go out and support these restaurants. And I told him that day, good people want to see good people win. And people literally was like flocking to his restaurant. And before
It's
you know it,
good
was
to
there.
be good.
The video had over like 30 million, 40 million views. And he had raised over, I think, like $60,000. Wow. Yeah.
Why do you think people connect with your videos?
I don't know, Shannon. I ain't gonna lie to you. It baffles me every day. I think for me is because I pray a lot. Again, I don't see myself how other people see me. So it makes me question internally. But I always fall back to the fact that I feel like I'm supposed to be here and God put me here for a reason. And I think a lot of it, giving myself a little credit, is that I really take this serious. Like, I don't play around. I know these are people's lives that are being affected. Whether that be deemed good or bad. I know there's a lot of power that's been bestowed on me right now and bestowed on my family. We have no idea how long this is going to last. We don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow. We don't know if we're going to be here in 3 years.
Right until the wheels fall off.
Stay myself and I can be me. I'm going to be everywhere I'm supposed to be. So I feel like that's why people connect. If that's why y'all connect. I don't know why y'all connect me. I'm thankful for it, though.
The foods that you critique, are they all foods that you've had before and you're basing it on a previous test? Or you're like, man, no, I just like this. I've never had this dish before, but I really, really like it.
That's a great question. I like to think I step outside of the box a lot. But again, we go on recommendations, and a lot of my audience look like me.
Okay.
Now we're being blessed enough to where we stepping outside of that and we really hitting like a worldwide audience. But for a long time, it was just us. So the recommendations I would get would be from restaurants that were specifically for us. And
mac and cheese, collard greens,
exactly.
ribs,
Yeah.
oxtails,
Stuff that we grew up eating.
Yes.
But now, like I said, I like to think that we step outside the box. And again, I'm a true foodie. So even if I'm not recording, when we go into cities, I'm trying stuff that I've never tried before. I'm the type to literally book a flight to somewhere, get off the plane, and just walk to the nearest restaurant and just try it. And
that's me. I don't want no McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, nothing that. I want something I can't get.
I ate everything under the sun. Stuff I didn't even know how to pronounce. Stuff I'm talking about, we walking into random buildings, eating everything that people was recommending. I think that's just the foodie in me. But for the most part, like I said, it's coming from recommendations. So it can sometimes be like monotonous. But it's deeper than the food for me, Shannon. It's like I said, it's the people behind the restaurants. It's people that look like us.
Right. And a lot of times they got a story to tell, don't they?
How
they started. And
they got kids they feed off of this. Like they got kids that they feed off of this. I'm blessed enough to say that in the past year alone, we've been a part of changing 150 families' lives that look like us.
Wow. You grade on a scale of 1 to 10. How do you come to have you ever given a 10?
A few. I would say maybe 15, maybe max. We've been to over 300, 400 restaurants. I would say maybe 20.
Those are needles in haystacks.
Thanks.
How does someone get a 10? What did it have to be? Obviously, you want the customer service, you want the food hot, but what's the code? What's the
flavor to savor?
A, B, C, D,
10 every time
that gets to that 10.
So I don't really do interviews, as you can tell.
Shameless plug.
So I'm giving you stuff that I don't never give to nobody.
Good. I like that. You like that.
So I'm just giving you my full scale. For me, anywhere from a 1 to a 4 is something that I wouldn't eat again.
You wouldn't eat again, or
wouldn't?
Wouldn't.
Okay, 1 to a 3, I wouldn't eat again.
Okay.
4 is like I can see there's things that I personally would change. But if I needed to eat it, I would eat it.
Okay.
5 is right in the middle. 5 is like, it's not bad, but it's not good. 6 is like, okay, we fix a few things. This can be really, really good. 7 is like,
you're on the right path.
This isn't the worst thing I had, but again, you fix maybe 2 or 3 items or 2 or 3 ingredients in a dish, and we talking about something superior. 8 is like, even if I'm not recording, I'll eat this.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't eat the whole thing, but I'll eat it if I'm coming back to the city. 9 is like, I'm about to finish this, and whoever wants some, y'all better hurry up and get it because it's about to be gone.
Okay.
10 is nothing that I personally can think of can be changed about this dish to make it better. It ain't a piece of salt that can be added. It ain't no level of sweetness, no level of savoriness. It's nothing in this dish, no added ingredient that I can think of that can make this any better. So that's why I give it a 10. Because in my mind, that's a perfect dish.
Have you ever made recommendations like, man, you...
Side note, I drink a lot of water. I'm just taking a little sip at a time, though, because I don't want to get up to go use the restroom and nothing like that. But I drink like 5 bottles of this, 6 bottles a day. Just want to let you know. All right.
To add a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. Do they take your... Do people take your advice?
I would like to think so. So we went to a place in New Orleans, and it was called... What was the name of it? You know what I'm talking about? It was called something. It was like a Sweet Bayou or Bayou effect or something like that. And it was supposed to be Mexican-inspired tacos and Mexican-inspired food. It was black people food.
Yeah.
Full blown. And I went in and I had a conversation with them, and I was like, let's just call it black people food.
Right.
When I say it was, so they had nachos. The nachos
with oxtail over top.
The nachos was like ground beef. It was ground beef, nacho cheese.
That's where we had our...
It was like, I think they even, was they using Doritos? They was using some...
No, that's real talk, because that's the way we had our tacos and burritos. That was like my favorite thing when I was growing up, because it was something different. And the carne asadas and the all this stuff nowadays, matter of fact, I just got some meat. We're going to have carne asada tacos tomorrow. Didn't have that when I was growing up. It was all about ground beef. Shout out to La Perlas and also Mexicali Rose in Oakland. La Perlas is a staple in Richmond there for 60-something years. Closed its doors a few years ago. We still missing them. And then Mexicali Rose is a staple in Oakland for like 90 years. And they just closed their doors close to 2 years ago. We still missing that place. There's another spot there for the culture. I think it's some brothers of them got it. I ain't been there yet, but the burrito, the ground beef burrito, just is unmatched. That's like the best burrito that you could have. I'm feeling it.
Like bagged Dorito chip.
Right.
Dorito chips from nachos.
Yes.
And I feel like once you identify your demographic and identify your target audience and you make it known exactly who you making food for, it makes it easier for people in the audience in the area to be like, oh, I eat that kind of food. Oh, I want to try that.
Right.
So after we had the conversation, they changed a lot of the menu items to reflect exactly what it was.
Wow.
It was like Rotel dip, and they called it like Mexican nacho inspired. I was like,
Rotel dip is when they take like I just learned this from my cousin who live in the South, but they take like their peppers and bell peppers and stuff like that, and they put it there. Actually, a lady friend of mine in the South, she's the one I actually tasted it from, but I heard it from my cousin. But they would take that and they'd take like some Velveeta cheese or whatever, and they melt it all together and turn it into something to dip chips in or whatever. So it's like nacho chip on steroids. It's like nacho cheese on steroids, Tostita dipped or whatever that you get that. On steroids, though, to another level. Speaking of which, let me just give you this real fast. If you have a store, just a corner store or whatnot, and you got some Doritos there, nacho cheese or spicy nacho Doritos, and you got a cheese sauce, melt some cheese, have a cheese sauce, and if you got some chili beans or some ground beef, you can't keep the customers out of there, especially young kids and stuff like that. After school, they coming through. You know what I mean? That's just, well, extra, whatnot. I'm a foodie, just like this brother.
Rotel. I know, bro. It's Velveeta.
So you started like I'm reading that you and you watched a lot of videos with your daughter.
Make sure we didn't miss that.
It's Velveeta.
Hold up.
And after we had the conversation, they changed a lot of the menu items to reflect exactly what it was.
Wow.
It was like Rotel dip, and they called it like Mexican nacho inspired. I was like, this is Rotel. I know, bro. It's Velveeta.
So you started like I'm reading that you and you watched a lot of videos with your daughter, the Paw Patrol and things like that, and you was like, well, you know, hey, did that really give you the idea that you
the chair?
Yeah.
No, I didn't have furniture.
So you never getting rid of this, huh?
No. yeah, no.
Your wife ain't gonna let you get rid of
No,
it.
that ain't going nowhere. That's going in the case somewhere in a few years. So how that happened was I literally didn't have furniture. We bought my daughter a play set, and it was a little small white table, and it was this Paw Patrol chair. Or this is like the third one because I done broke so many of them. Been sitting in them. But it was a Paw Patrol chair, and it was sitting in this corner.
Right.
And she had like a little kitchen set up. So one thing about us as parents, I like to tip our hats off. No matter what we got, our kids gonna have everything.
Okay.
So I can be down to my last pair of
Sacrifice
shoes.
for
I can be
real.
down to not eating.
For our
My
kids.
kids gonna have whatever they think about. So my daughter can walk into the store and grab whatever she want. And this is when we was making $100 a week.
Wow.
And I'm talking about full blown. My 2-year-old walking down the aisles, grabbing stuff, throwing it in the cart. And however we about to make it happen, we gonna make it happen.
Right.
So she had every toy that you can think of. And we didn't have a kitchen table. And one day I was doing a food review, and I didn't have anywhere to set up at. I didn't have no fancy lights. I ain't had no fancy setup. I literally was setting my phone up on like
neither.
either a bottle or like whatever I can get close to me. At
Thank
one
God
point, it
for
was
what I
a
got.
bowl of sugar,
Right.
and I would just set my phone up on it. And her chair was sitting right there. And at this point, I was probably like 150 pounds. I was shredded. I was lean, ripped, and I was like,
No,
I
you
can
just
fit in
hungry.
it.
You
I was, bro, I was,
hungry.
I was built like a superhero. But I remember vividly sitting in that chair, and I was like, if I can fit it, I'm about to make the video right here.
Right.
And I made the video, and somebody commented like, what is he sitting on? And I was like, oh, this is to have people talk.
Yeah.
Like, it's making people talk. So I was like, I'm about to just sit in it from now on.
Right.
And that just became a thing, and especially with the internet.
I remember that he would get up and show that Paw Patrol trail every time he got a Paw Patrol. That's what it's called. My kids is a little older. They was finding Nemo and Free Willy them. So Paw Patrol. Okay, Paw Patrol. I got it.
You don't know what's gonna stick.
You don't.
Especially when you're not even trying.
Right.
Like how you didn't try to swipe on Instagram Live.
There
Oh,
I don't.
I had to give you one, bro.
But see,
did he go there?
But see, that's why I got somebody to handle that.
Come on, Michelle. I had to give you one.
Ah!
Part about that, it would have been a lot longer had he not turned it off, because he has access to my account. So had he not turned it off, it might have been 4 hours.
You ain't going for 4 hours.
Bluetooth. Oh wow. Whatever he advertised.
Driving home, going to the gym, all that have been in there.
Yeah, for me, it was one of the situations where it was like, I didn't even know it was about to be a thing, and it just so happened to be a thing.
The Chipotle review. You reviewed that steak quesadilla, and they liked it, I guess, because they got they got a quesadilla.
You gotta explain that for me. What was that?
No, but I'm just saying. Because at one point in time, I think you interviewed, it's like, man, they don't give you enough with.
Oh, the portion size. Oh,
Yeah, the portion size.
I understand.
I don't know. They might have kept that up for a week because they done gone back to the small portion size. Keith. I'm just saying.
So for me, even the way that happened. So there was a video that.
Dang, and the dilemma of a good one, a good man. I didn't even talk about this female, but this lady who I liked when she was too young, you know what I'm saying? And then we ended up at culinary school together. And, I was focused. Like I said, when I'm in on something, I'm in. So I wasn't tripping off of it. But not long after that, still was an attraction, but I wasn't pursuing it at all. Graduation time, let's do something. Anyway, she was working at Chipotle. And she had seen me when I came in there one day. And I don't even think we was talking like that or whatever. It might even been before culinary, or maybe it was during culinary school. Who cares? The fact is, I went there. She was like him. She told her people that worked at him, give him whatever you want. So I'm like, cool. So I got something from there. And I'm sorry. I didn't even pay for it and didn't eat it all. It just, Chipotle just don't do it for me. I take that back. There was one time, an event, I think I DJ'd an event or something like that, and it was catered by Chipotle. That was pretty good. So I do like y'all Chipotle. Don't get my video banned. I'm trying to turn it into something.
A lady named Lexus.
I forgot about that.
And she goes around and she tries recommendations that employees make. So like, if you work at a restaurant, you do things that other people don't do because you've been there all day.
Right.
You just start messing with concoctions and whatnot. So her thing is that she goes around and she tries employee recommended. So she tried Chipotle, and an employee recommended a steak quesadilla with fajitas and sour cream, right? So I just tried it, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Right.
In my mind, this is when Chipotle was like at the top of the game.
Yeah.
This one everything was fresh, and like they said, it was my quesadilla was spilling how big it was.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it. I never in a million years thought that it was going to take off the way it was going to take off, and I know that's a cliche thing to say. But a week after I posted that video, I'm on the phone with the CEO of Chipotle. And like, you know, they be having them real long tables.
Yeah.
They set the Zoom call up where the table was like, I was sitting on the edge of the table, and it was just a long, like, director, CEO, COO, and I'm sitting there in my car. I'm in a 2013 Hyundai Sonata, was it? Or
my mom
Accent.
she used to have one of them. Oh, Accent. No, she had a Sonata.
The tent peeling. You got to make sure you put it in the gear the right way because there's syrup and all kind of stuff in the gear shift.
Smooth, sophisticated feel.
Oh, that's that daddy life. That boy say he has syrup, and then he got a syrup commercial. Man, the internet is undefeated.
Perfect.
Talking about full
Already.
on the phone with the CEO of Chipotle, and he like, yeah, we want to bring the quesadilla and make it a full meal item. We want to name a Chipotle after you. They literally changed the entire Chipotle from Chipotle to Chipotle. Again, Shannon, I'm like, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, but it was just stemmed from me sitting in this chair eating a fucking quesadilla.
Right. So how was that experience? Because like you said, man, bro, I'm in my apartment.
Yeah.
And I got the CEO of Chipotle
On the phone.
on the phone.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, okay, we want to name we're going to put something on a menu, name something after you.
They had it. It was called a quesadilla, and it was on the app. Like I said, the Chipotle. The craziest thing about that Chipotle is the Chipotle. Me and my wife, we met when we worked at A6 inside of South Premium Outlet, and that Chipotle was directly in front of South Premium Outlet. So to go back there 3 or 4 years after, no, it was longer than that, maybe like 7 years after me and her met, and standing in front of the spot that we met, but now we got a Chipotle named after us. It was surreal, and it was one of the things where it was like, I never questioned God, but it was like, why me?
Yeah.
What I did.
What did I
Only
do
God
to deserve
can do
this?
that.
Yeah, facts.
I'm looking at some of the companies you partner with: Chipotle, Pizza Hut, Wingstop, DoorDash, Pepsi, Chime, Hyundai, Microsoft. I mean, how does Keith Lee determine who he's going to partner with?
Good question, Shannon.
For me, it's a conversation that's had after, like I said, I prayed before everything. And you can feel it.
Good
You
answer,
can feel when something's right and something's not right. I'll give you an exclusive here.
Pray before everything.
We had a conversation with, I said the name because I ain't going. We had a conversation with, okay, I ain't gonna say the name, but one of the biggest fast food companies in the entire world. We had a conversation with them.
McDonald's.
And
I think McDonald's is the biggest, is it not?
Oh, I was about to say the name either. Okay, my bad. Okay, go ahead.
Michelle, come on, Michelle.
Michelle.
Hypothetically.
But we had a conversation with somebody, and come on, Shannon.
They like us.
No, so we had a conversation with somebody, and they initially reached out, and it was like, we want to have a full. This was supposed to be like a full commercial, a full deal, like a really big thing. And mind you, I'm not making that much money at the time. I'm making good money, but not like nowhere near to be turning. They was offering almost $1 million, Shannon, and I wasn't making nowhere near that. But they was having a conversation, and they asked me, "Do I eat that food?" And I don't. Instead of saying, "Of course I eat it," trying to get the money.
Yeah.
Me as a person of integrity,
I do a filet of fish for
told
y'all.
him straight to his face. I was like, no, I don't.
Anytime.
I've never ate it as a kid.
Right tartar sauce.
I don't eat it now. I don't really eat fast food.
How much y'all offering? You know what? I always wanted to try. that.
Filet of fish, me.
But it's like I said earlier with integrity, like it's something that I feel like I have to be able to pass down to my kids.
Right.
And have this conversation with them when I'm 50 or 60 and tell them like, no matter what position I was in, I've always been myself and I've always stuck to what I believe is right in my heart. And I had the conversation with them. He put me on the phone with the CEOs, and the first question he asked was, "All right, Keith, do you like this food, the brand, whatever it is? Do you like our brand?" Thinking I was gonna back down because we having a conversation in front of CEOs, and in front of all of them people, nope. And they said, "Oh, okay, well, we'll have a conversation in the back end." I already knew that was a wrap.
Right.
That meant absolutely that's not about to work.
Right.
But it was just, like I said, a testament to who I've always stood on, and I've always stood my ground and put my feet in the ground and being who I say I am.
Is it easier to represent?
I understand what he just said. He making deals with different food companies. McDonald's, let's not say that it was McDonald's, but let's just say McDonald's come calling and say, do you eat our kind of food? We got $1 million for you, but do you eat our kind of food? And because he don't like that kind of food, he don't stand on that, you know. He like me too. I eat some fast food every once in a while, especially if it's the only thing I can get real quick fast. You know what I'm saying? But I like cooked meals though. Wherever restaurant I go to, I spend a little bit more for it. But I like cooked meals though. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, he said no to him, regardless of the money on the table, because he had to stand on business on what he felt was right. I feel him 100%. You know what I'm saying? I voted for less than $1 million. Obviously, I'm not no millionaire. So I voted and I regretted it. So I definitely understand that. And it's one to learn. It's something to learn, though. It's a dilemma of a good person, though. You know what I mean? Again, I got a series that's called Dilemma of a Good One. You know what I mean? It's one of the dilemmas that, you know, your pocket is telling you yes. Your minds may say no, but your pocket say yes, yes. Your bank account say yes. You get what I'm saying? So I admire the brother for that. I'm glad I did take a chance to look at this video tonight. You know what I'm saying? Again, Shay, get Chime Time on here too one day. That'd be a good one.
Who I've always stood on, and I've always stood my ground and put my feet in the ground and being who I say I am.
Is it easier to represent a brand? And because I find this myself, it's a lot easier to represent a brand if you use the product.
For
if
sure.
you eat the food.
Absolutely.
Because
Well,
it's not rehearsed. It's not forced. I actually drive
genuine.
this car. I actually go to this place. I actually eat this food. As opposed to, I do.
For me, again, we blessed enough to have people that will really go out and get the product and try the product.
On that note, I with a couple of my classmates when I was in culinary school, we had a chef. I love the brother though. I ain't gonna lie. I love the brother. He reached back and wanted me to come work at Levi's Stadium when it first opened up. You know what I mean? He reached out to a few other students. I found out one of them took the offer, but I couldn't because, you know, I said I could work, you know, maybe do some Monday nights and all that. He like, nah, Sundays is mandatory. I'm like, nah, it's mandatory for me to be at church on Sundays. You know, I can't do it. You know what I mean? But anyway, he preached and preached and preached about leave fast food, junk food. That stuff is terrible and everything else. I was taking one of my classmates home, though, in the city of Rodale. Y'all know what that is, you know what I'm saying? And we was over there near the Shell gas station in Hercules, just before the city before Rodale. And I think we went to Kinder's. I think I went to get something from Kinder's. Like I said, I like cooked meat, smoked meat, something like that. And as we were leaving, we saw our chef instructor going into the Jack in the Box. And the way he did it, he like walked in with his family and everything, ushered his family in, stepped outside, looked left and right, see if anyone was around and whatever. It's like he was doing some incognito kind of stuff. Incognito. He was a brother, you know what I'm saying, stuff though. And we laughed. He's like, look at Chef. You know, look at him over there. Look at what he doing. I just had to think about that. So that's what he's saying. You don't want to talk about what you do and don't do it, and the opposite is true as well. You don't want to tell people don't do this, don't do that. Hey, don't smoke, don't smoke no cigarettes because they ain't good for you. You know what I'm saying? Leave the weed alone because it ain't cool. Don't drink no alcohol because it ain't good for you. You know what I mean? That ain't good for people to hear too. You know how they say people hear what you say, but they're gonna listen to what you do or don't do.
I refuse to step anything that I personally don't like because I understand these are people's hard-earned money that they're going to spend.
Correct.
I think a lot of people don't think about it like that. They just be like, oh, it's my money. I'm going to get the money for my family. I'm supporting. But it's like you also affecting other people's money, other people's family. Because if it's a product that you won't even stand behind and you don't eat in your daily life or that you would eat, why are you about to make them spend their last earned money?
Right.
And
why?
like I said, I'm blessed enough to really have people that will go out with they last. And I'm talking about people be standing in line and having their own real issues. They stand in line for 8, 9. I'm not allowed to.
And I feel him too. I was about to pause it, but I feel him though. Because also it's my name. So if I hype it up and it's saying it's all this and I know it ain't, and then you go try it, now you're looking at me sideways. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel him on that. It's the same thing like referring for catering or whatever. I'm booked. I can't do it. I'm not going to just give you any caterer's phone number. I'm not going to give you just any DJ's phone number because I have to know that they're going to be good at it because my name is on the line. You get what I'm saying? So I feel him 100%.
People that will go out with they last, and I'm talking about people be standing in line
last
and having their own real
money.
issues. They stand in line for 8-9 hours.
Wow.
Trying to get
And
the
it's
food
like,
that
I
you
don't
said
take
was
that
good.
lightly. Like, I don't play with that, and I appreciate every last one of y'all. So, every decision I made, like how you asked, what decisions go into me picking certain partners that we do it. I think of them. I think of my family. I think of if I can ask myself 20 years from now, if that made sense, I can still say yes, no matter how it went. No matter if, like I said, I missed out on $1 million. No matter if I got $1 million. Like, I can have that conversation with myself later down the road and not regret it.
Wow. Congrats on being the first person in your family to own a home.
Thank you, man.
You just recently purchased a home.
That's
You
what's
and your
up.
beautiful wife and your 2 daughters.
That's
What
what's
was that
up.
moment like?
It didn't feel real. It felt like, I remember having a conversation like multiple times of like, who gonna walk in this house after we done? Like, where the landlord at?
Yeah.
I know he gonna come in here and be like, you can't change this, you can't change that. I'm gonna be transparent. It put me in a depression. It put me in a pretty deep
I don't want to
depression.
lose it. I bet that's what he
Survivor's
will
guilt,
say.
survivor's remorse of like feeling like it's gonna be snatched away. Feeling like, yes, I have it, but how long do I have it for? It's trauma. It's definitely trauma. I had to sit and question and ask myself why am I in this house with my family and with the people that love me, and I'm surrounded by love and I feel alone. This is 2 weeks ago, so this ain't like 3-4 years.
Right.
It's like recent. And it just, so we sitting on almost 2 acres of land.
I am.
And I vividly, again, a week ago, standing in the backyard, like, whose is this? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't believe you earned it and you don't believe you're worthy enough of it or for it. But other people and God deems you worthy enough. And just finding that self-worth and finding that self-confidence and being, I'm always thankful, but for me, it was like, this ain't mine. But then once I start seeing our stuff roll in and I start like seeing my kid, what really changed it for me and brought me out of depression, my daughter just learned how to ride a bike for the first time.
Enjoy it
So
on
you
the
got a lot of
land.
space.
I'm teaching her in the
On
backyard.
the land,
how to
that's
ride
what's
the bike.
up.
We got a hill in our backyard.
Yeah.
And when I say 2 acres, it's just all land. It's like we got trees, but for as far as the eye can go, it's just grass. And I literally like put her on the bike and let her roll down the hill. And I let her go, and I'm just watching her roll in this field of like grass, and like I was like,
This
"You did it,
mine."
man." Like I really had to sit. It's not many times in my life I've been proud of myself.
Glory to
and I had
God.
to sit back and be like, "I'm proud of me, man."
That's your best purchase. Have you made any bad purchases since you've been this Keith Lee?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. And we all do it.
No, I
What?
got a wife. I got a black wife. She don't let you make no dumb.
You got a
no
neck
dumb
that's
purchases.
controlling
So
it.
my whole team is women. They be on my head, Shay.
Right.
Like it ain't no go out splurge.
You
Like
ain't got no new whip. I mean, I know you got some.
she bought me a whip. I don't splurge. The only thing I buy is shoes.
Right.
Shout out to Nike. The only thing I buy is shoes.
Same here.
I don't spend my money on nothing else, but like, so I have a shoe wall that I collect. I'm at probably, if I had to guess the worth, I would sell it right now for like 200 grand.
Wow.
Really?
I ain't
Wow.
gonna lie.
That's the only thing I really spend money on.
Right.
But other than that, I don't spend money on
I
nothing.
like 'em, I wear 'em.
They talk about me all the time. I walk around in like Target t-shirts.
Yeah.
Like I go to H&M, I go to Zara. Only very fancy thing I have.
On the first video, I talked about how nice the sweater and the hat is. Well, I can cancel that because I don't shop at H&M. I can't fit H&M. I'm not down there yet, but I'm going to work on it. This time next year, I'm going to grab some out of H&M just because we'll be able to. You heard it here.
In the house, my wife bought me a Genesis G90.
Wow.
It was probably 120,000.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't spend it.
Right.
Yeah, she spent it because she knew I wouldn't.
Hold on.
Is it?
Hold on. Because if you're anything like me, we don't know what that is. Let's see what it's Genesis G90. G90. Let's see what a luxury car. Let's see. Oh, I think this is not 100% sure. Okay, it ain't too expensive, but it is nice though. I'm not 100% sure. Genesis G90. It's like this right here, 30 bands. Probably got it fixed up a little bit. So this is it right here. This is a Genesis. It's basically it's Hyundai's. So they like Hyundai everything. They had to talk about an accent earlier. So it's Hyundai's Lexus. You know, Toyota make Lexus. Nissan makes, what do they make? Not, I'm going to say Nissan makes Altima. Nissan makes, Lord help me, the name of their vehicle. Nissan makes the Acura. No, Honda make Acura. Nissan makes Infinity. Okay, and this is Hyundai's. This nice. No, that's a 2019. So let's see what a 2000, let's just, for the sake of, let's give them a 2024. Let's see what the Genesis 24 G90 look like. They all right. They cool. They cool though. They cool. But the wife bought it for him, so it's the most beautiful. Ooh, that's actually nice. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Look at the interior. That's nice. Go on, Keith Lee. Let's just see if Keith Lee. Let's just see if there's a picture of his on there. Only reason why I'm doing this is because, full transparency, it's because, yep, there he is with his core. It's because that's him. They got one picture with the car, but it's a little blurry. Only reason I'm doing this is because the boy Faison Lee was dogging my boy Country Wayne. I love me some Country Wayne. I love Faison too. I think his last name Lee. Faison Lee is who I went to school with. Faison Love is the comedian that was dogging him, talking about he ain't got that kind of money or whatnot. He ain't got no Range Rover. And I was watching the Shay interview. And it was on that interview where he said, man, I got a pink Range Rover. I believe it was a Range Rover truck. Country Wayne, pink Range Rover. Pink Rolls Royce truck. That's what it is. And sure enough, bam, there it was. In Faison's face right there, just like that. So anyway, let's get back to the interview. Dope interview. This is a great interview. Shay, I don't watch all your interviews because my time and you know what I mean. But I love you.
Now,
this is good one, right?
Because
One of the
of
best.
how you grew up and not having, sometimes you had to go without.
Oh, let me backpedal. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The biggest purchase, not that purchase, but the biggest purchase that I'll look in retrospect, it was the amount of money we gave out the first year.
Battery charger right
we
here.
started doing
Phone
taxes,
drop.
Shannon.
It'd be all right.
We gave out damn near $300,000 the first year. Just here you go. Take it.
I'm sure she said, we're not doing that no more.
Yeah, out of anything, I feel like it's not a regret because in my mind, to be a blessing, you got to get a blessing.
Right.
To get a blessing, you got to be a blessing. It's just in retrospect, I think a lot of that comes from the way that I was raised too, of yeah, we had money every now and again, but I ain't never touched this kind of money.
Oh, yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's a different, and it was hard for me to figure out how to say no. I ain't never been a person to. Now I am.
Right.
Well, I'll say no in a heartbeat. It was a video that just came out. And he's like,
You know what? I'm gonna call that a hint. I'm gonna take that as a hint, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna log off of this one right here, part 2. This is an awesome interview. I love this kind of stuff where we can get out and we can learn about where people come from, who they are, and everything, as opposed to just seeing where they are now. You know what I mean? Where'd you come from? How'd you get there? You know what I mean? And oftentimes they say success leaves clues. Oftentimes, I picked up a couple of nuggets. I don't know if you was listening, but oftentimes though, you hear a story like this and there's some things that be like, you know what, I can do that. Or it just inspires you to just go for whatever it is that you're going for. So that's what I'm doing. Remember, this is part 2 of what we're going to call DJ Ron's. No, excuse me. See, I got a couple of things going on, but we're going to call it Chef Ron, Flavor to Savor. And this is Club Shay featuring Keith Lee. This is episode 1, part 2 of episode 1. If you haven't seen part 1 of episode 1, make sure you do so. And tomorrow I'm going to upload. I'm going to do the part 3, but I'm gonna get these uploaded as soon as possible. Either tonight, it's kind of late tonight, or first thing in the morning. I'll be getting these up after I get my morning devotion and everything else. And I hope that y'all like it. I hope that y'all enjoy it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I plan to just continue to create content with my son, maybe both of my sons or whatnot, and we'll just see how the Lord leads. You know what I mean? And if the Lord is willing, and we're able to be consistent with it, we want to just be able to give you some great content. So if there's some things you want me to react to or talk about, you know what I mean, definitely shoot them to us, you know what I'm saying? But as of now, it's about the music, and it's about dilemmas that men and women deal with, and it's also about relationships and stuff like that. Pop a balloon or find love. We plan to do a video on that tomorrow too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. Get ready, get a good night. Gonna give me a little something. Give me some sleep. Get ready for tomorrow, and we're gonna be right back at it. All right. Until then, remember, it's always good to be good. Take care, and as always, God bless.